Hello. Sometimes I put on videos wishing to share information. The focus of this and perhaps some other videos is going to be more like sharing questions, like something in the Bible I frankly don't know what to do with. Or maybe to put it another way, it appears a certain way in the Bible what to do about something, but few people in the church, which I respect, seem to currently see things this way. Now, this is the New International Version, a modern translation, and the chapter is 1 Corinthians 11, and the verse, if anyone wants to be contentious about this, we have no other practice, nor do the churches of God. Now, this is not going to be getting into detailed what does the first part of 1 Corinthians 11 mean, which is a thing that Bible scholars learnedly disagree on to a certain degree, as I understand, but rather focusing on just that verse. We have no other practice, meaning the apostle don't, nor do the churches of God. Other translations put it, translate not practice, but custom. Now, the question I'm groping with is, doesn't this verse oblige us to replicate the customs of the apostolic era New Testament churches as far as we know about them from Scripture? Now, I'm not getting into the idea of a tradition transmitted without Scripture. I think that is very problematic, to say the least, and interferes with the sufficiency of Scripture, and there are a lot of other objections to it. This idea that traditional churches have, that we have these unwritten traditions from Christ or the apostles. As a example of that, they think that as unwritten tradition, the apostles handed down that one ought to fast a certain amount of time before receiving communion. Well then, but even apart from that, it seems that we are in modern Bible-respecting churches even not paying enough attention to the apostles' meaning here in this verse. We have no other practice, nor do the churches of God. And sometimes this gets into the category of culturally relative to the culture. Okay, certain things were relative to the culture back then, but so in other words, if they were customary back then, and even if we know it from Scripture, we need not follow such scripturally known customs. But that seems a little problematic to me, to reason like that in general, because if such was the case, it doesn't appear to me how Paul could say what he says in verse 16 here, chapter 11, 1 Corinthians. Now, but I question things, including my way of seeing things, and I'm really wanting people who are wiser than I to, and more learned than I in New Testament and biblical studies, to tell me if my take on this verse, such as I have it, that we are obliged to follow custom of New Testament apostolic era churches as far as we know about it, these customs from Scripture. That's my take on it. Is that so? If it's not so, why not? Well, till next time then. Bye.